I'm just trying to decide if I'm comfortable even talking about that.
This one's wife. Pregnant? Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. When you put together the issue of pregnancy and this one's wife, it invariably leads to perhaps one of the biggest controversies in relation to her. Amongst her supporters, there are those that say she clearly carried and gave birth to Archie and Lilibet. And those supporters state that anybody that says to the contrary is essentially deranged, that they are bullying her, that their allegations are the product of racism. There are others who maintain that the children simply do not exist, that she was never pregnant, that she went so far as to wear what has been called a moon bump in order to fabricate being pregnant, that she entered a ruse which either duped members of the royal family or that they were complicit in this ruse so that she gave the appearance of being pregnant and gave the appearance of having had children when in actual fact she has not. And since then, other people's children have been utilised for the purpose of the appearance of Archie and Lilibet. Then there are others that say the children do exist, and there are children that are named Archie and Lilibet, although they are not often seen, but she did not carry them, that she faked the pregnancies and made it seem as if she was pregnant, but they came from a surrogate. And because of the necessity of them being born of her body, she had to maintain the pretense that they were born by her in order for them to be in the line of succession. 3 potential scenarios, and you will have your own views as to which you think is applicable. It's certainly a topic that gets people particularly aerated, be it her supporters who find it absolutely preposterous to suggest that she could be anything other than pregnant and carry the children and give birth to them, to others who routinely express their lack of belief that she ever has had children or that she carried them, those that maintain that the children do not exist. Frequently, particularly on X, it's almost a flame war that takes place between the two sides, hurling allegation and counter-allegation across one another. And therefore, given the level of controversy that is generated by that, the suggestion that she might be pregnant again, well, that would, of course, have people scurrying either for their big buck of evidence or their compendium of conspiracy theories, depending on which side of the divide that you are on. What is this suggestion that she might be pregnant? Where does it come from? Well, it comes from the international news, from the enigmatically named web desk that tells us this one's wife sparks pregnancy rumours with subtle nod to Prince Archie. Is this one's wife pregnant with 3rd child? Now, this is not the first time that there has been a rumour that she's pregnant again. This one's wife, who virtually attended a Colombian summit to discuss online safety, along with her husband Prince Harry, has made a sweet nod to Prince Archie. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex, who seemingly decided to drop their plans of professional separation with their latest move, made their first joint appearance as a couple since their Colombia tour in August. This one's wife made a sweet nod to her eldest child, Prince Archie, during her video appearance with the Duke of Sussex, fueling rumours about her plans to expand family with her surprising gesture. The Duchess wore a £1,645 Ralph Lauren blazer, which was first spotted in 2019 when she was pregnant with Prince Archie. This one's wife's move left fans guessing that she's giving hints at planning a new baby with the Duke, So is it planning a new baby or that she's actually pregnant? Social media users and the couple's fans speculate that this one's wife and Harry are ready to welcome their third child together, with one guessing the couple have decided to expand their family. The mother of two wore the blazer over a black t-shirt, complementing the ensemble with a natural makeup look and her hair worn down in loose waves. Meanwhile, Harry opted for a traditional poppy, which he pinned onto the lapel of his black blazer, worn over a white shirt. And that's the entirety of this news article. The fact that this one's wife wore the same blazer that she wore when she was pregnant with Prince Archie has meant that someone somewhere has said, "Oh, look at that. She's wearing the same blazer as she did when she was pregnant with Archie. That must mean that she's pregnant now." Fuck me sideways. It's this kind of nonsense that really does play into the hands of this one's wife and her supporters. It seems to me that it's errant nonsense. And whilst someone is perfectly entitled to speculate, I think she might be pregnant because she's wearing the same blazer that she wore when she was pregnant the first time around. They're allowed to say that, but it doesn't mean that it has any credibility whatsoever. And for a supposed news outlet to pick that up and portray it as news demonstrates the depths to which the world has sunk with regard to the provision of information. But also, it's precisely the type of thing that this one's wife regularly speaks out against. And as I said before, from when time to time I highlight YouTube videos which talk errant nonsense about the gruesome twosome, and in particular about this one's wife. Now, as you know, I'm no great defender of this one's wife. I use her as an example to explain to you narcissism. She's a brilliant example in that regard because, one, she's a narcissist, and two, so many of you are interested in her. But I'm also always about the evidence and weighing it up and allowing you to make your own minds up. But also, in instances where I believe that certain evidence is highly questionable, I will say as such, because it's important to adopt critical thinking with regard to what you're told. For instance, you might be shown a photograph, and too often people make an assumption based upon it without thinking, is that actually accurate? I remember during COVID that circulating on social media was a piece of footage which purported to be within the United Kingdom. And this was generated during lockdown. And the piece of footage showed a convoy of military vehicles and was accompanied by somebody writing along the lines of, "I've heard from a friend who works in the House of Commons that there's going to be a nationwide military lockdown. See what's on the roads at the moment. This will take place at such a point of time." And of course, that short couple of paragraphs explaining that the nation, already in relation to a COVID lockdown, was going to be taken into something more by way of a military lockdown, and accompanied with footage of military vehicles, caused many people to say, "Good God, what's happening? Oh my goodness me," etc. What they failed to do, and it was pretty simple, was to actually look at the video and consider, is it legitimate? And they would have come to a very swift conclusion that it would not be, for two reasons. First of all, the vehicles are driving on the right-hand side of the road, whereas in the United Kingdom, we drive on the left. And the registration plates of the vehicles were clearly not British. Therefore, it was evidently not a video of military vehicles in the United Kingdom attempting a military lockdown. Easily debunked. But you would see from the comments how so many people believed that it was happening or was going to happen and expressed their dismay and concern about it. They didn't think. And that's the problem with news articles such as this and videos that I've highlighted, that at the end of the day, there are too many people that don't apply critical thinking, considering, could this be legitimate? Does it pass a test of appearing to come from a reliable source? And whilst it's all very well offering observations about this one's wife, it's important to do so based on actual evidence. And I highlight this pregnancy rumour as quite simply utter tosh. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.